Soon everyone calmed down. It's just all of this. It's only just begun. The sound of explosions is still ongoing. At the same time, a large number of armed robots. I don't know where it surged onto the streets from, towards everything that can be seen, pouring out ammunition and firepower. Just like that, the armed robots clashed with them. Meanwhile, the location of the Presbyterian church over 100 kilometers away just summoned the elders of the enemy to gather together. With a serious expression, he looked towards the settlement. What happened? Has the Star River Alliance already attacked? This is too fast. No, they don't look like members of the Galactic Alliance. This fighting style resembles that of the Mechanical Empire. The Mechanical Empire has teamed up with the Star River Alliance. Are they finally not going to tolerate us anymore? An elder snorted coldly. I don't see it as a collaboration. It feels more like a coincidence. Could it be? They have found the location, so we are no longer needed. One elder's expression changed drastically. This is impossible. Coordinates left by humanity. Only we know. That is what humanity left for us, the divine assassins. They can never get it. That's right. It's all for this coordinate. Star River Alliance and Mechanical Empire, how could you tolerate us for so long? Otherwise, they would have come knocking on the door long ago. So they have come to the door now. Isn't it just saying that? They already have the coordinates. Are we no longer of any use? Another elder scoffed. In an instant, all the elders fell into silence. A moment later, just started issuing various commands. Meanwhile, on the other side, the spirit beasts and others still in the settlement want to leave the settlement, hurry to the location of the elders' council, yet also on the way. Encountered a little trouble. They encountered an invasion. Armed robot army. Our luck is pretty good, running around carelessly. Everyone can encounter the robot army. Can we buy lottery tickets now? Lanju is hopping around Lingchu, peeking curiously, walking along the street, sweeping over here. Large numbers of armed robots. At the same time, Muziu has transformed his sword energy into a long sword in hand. He thrust the sword forward. In an instant, suddenly a flash of sword light appeared, flying out from Muziu's hand. Every beam of sword light will encounter along the way. All the armed robots penetrated. A sword from beginning to end. Countless swords descended. Under the footsteps of the armed robots, the bustling street. In an instant it became quiet. Immediately, the sound of explosions echoed. The wide street before me is filled. Boundless armed robots. All were cleared with a single sword. Lord Spirit Beast, do you want to continue playing? Muziu asked. Because there are more armed robots in the distance. Gathering now. Heading this way. Even in the sky, many spaceships are also landing. A cannon was aimed at the ground. The cannon begins to charge. Clear this wave. Let's go. Lingchu hesitated for a moment. Still decided to help the god's assassins here. But he won't help much either. After all, he has important matters to attend to. Moreover, the entire storm star was surrounded by numerous spaceships. This is already beyond saving. Spiritual beasts can help for a moment. It's not possible to keep helping forever. So, Muxiu strikes again. This time, a massive surge of sword energy soared into the sky. In an instant, it broke through the clouds, even beyond the ecological dome of impact. The sky was filled with storms and dust. At that moment, it became clear. At the same time, countless sword energies. Countless warships in the sky. One battleship after another exploding amidst the astonished cries of countless divine. This is this the elder taking action? The elder isn't that strong, is he? So many warships. With one strike it shattered. Don't worry about it too much. Take this chance and run. Just as the battleships in the sky disappeared, a gap has appeared in the encirclement. Let's hurry to the harbor. Let's ply the spaceship and escape. How does the divine assassin plan? The spirit beast did not know. After eliminating a fleet of warships, a few people from the spirit beasts had already left the settlement, heading towards the location of the Elder Council 100 kilometers away. On the road ahead, from time to time, we encounter warships, and armed robots block the way. And the closer we get to the Elder Council, the stronger the obstruction, the more intense the resistance, although none of them are Muziu's rivals. But the defense is continuously strengthening. It is also a fact, the target of these armed robots. Is it the Elder Council as well? Interesting. The spirit creature flying in mid-air. He casually grabbed a piece that flew by, the wreckage of the battleship that was just destroyed by Muziu. After looking at it, throw the fragments away again. Lord Spirit Beast, these don't seem to be ships from the Interstellar Alliance, do they? The male lead frowned and said, "It really doesn't seem like it. Crew members on the battleship, many are humans who have undergone mechanical modifications. This is more in line with the style of the mechanical empire." Ling Chu also agreed. So the mechanical empire has also taken action against Storm Star. Why, at the same time, mechanical empire and Star River Alliance, they have all taken action against Storm Star? The male protagonist asked in confusion. I think it shouldn't be about attacking the Storm Star, but instead they attacked the Divine Stabber. They are conducting the final sweep of the Divine Stabber. Muziu also spoke during the pause. Oh, right. Their target is the Divine Assassin. It's not the Storm Star. But that's not right either. Why does it have to be now? The male lead remains confused. It's just this doubt. No one is destined to answer him, until a group of people broke through multiple defenses, finally arrived at the location of the Elder Council. This area is also covered by a slightly smaller ecological dome. The Council of Elders is right there. Just now, this ecosystem dome was supposed to be intact, has become incredibly broken. A large number of warships bombard from the sky. The armed robots are attacking on the ground. The defenses within the ecological dome are also fighting back. Various types of artillery, in tandem with the sword light slashed by the God-Slayer. The explosive fireball shot out, competing for ground control against armed robots. The authority of the sky? It's a pity. The power of the divine assassins? In the end, we could not defeat the mechanical empire. Long-planned offensive defense line is rapidly collapsing. Lin Chu and the others found themselves in this situation, arriving at the outer defense line of the council. How are we going to get in? Are you going to attack the defense line with those robots? But won't this allow the mechanical empire to take advantage? Lu Yao frowned. Looking at the situation before me, it just feels like a tangled mess. It's even harder to solve than a math problem. This is still simple. First, clear the robots and warships. Then break through the defense and go in. Otherwise, you won't get taken advantage of. The male lead proposed an extremely clever idea. In other words, both sides are fighting. You truly are a little genius. This tactic is used. Lu Yao, in a moment. I don't even know if I should praise him. It's time to complain about him again. That's right. Starting with strength, we can take on 10 of them. let alone hitting two. Then why not hit? What a scheme! That was when I had no strength. Just used. Strength is sufficient. Just go straight over. This is the best strategy, the male protagonist said proudly. All right, I admit. What you said makes some sense. Lu Yao felt he couldn't argue back. At that moment, Wu Zi received permission from Ling Zhu. They also started to act. A direct shot. First, clear the battleships from the sky. One more arrow. Clear the armed robots on the ground. Then, on the opposite front line, the divine assassins. Before we had the chance to cheer, and another arrow was shot. In the astonishment of the divine assassins, they directly cleared their defenses. Of course, this time Mu Ziyu is gathering strength. No one was harmed. Then Ling Zhu and a few others, walking with such swagger, entered the Elder Council. I saw the one who was guarding here. Among those following the Elder, Zhen Yu is accompanied by Ling Zhu. Daijin arrives at Storm's Star. Zhen Yan looked at several people with a complex expression. You are the esteemed guests who saved Daijin, right? I'm really sorry. Now I finally meet you all. The elder said with a smile. It's nothing. Are you the only elder here? Ling Zhu asked. They have all left. The Storm Star can destroy, but the legacy of the divine assassin cannot be lost. They have their own mission. Then I am already too old. Stay here. This is my final mission. The elder chuckled and said. Ling Zhu nodded. The elder in front of us. Just a low-level authority holder. It can be seen that the remaining elders, it obviously can't be the dwellers. So, if you leave, then leave. Ling Zhu didn't care either. I came here just for one thing. Ling Zhu spoke up. What is it? As long as I don't have it, you can only take away. The elder continued to smile. Considering the current strength comparison, Ling Zhu here is clearly the strongest. And it's the kind that's overly strong. What does someone want? You have to give it. There's no choice. It would be better if the scene looked nicer. Thank you very much. Ling Zhu thanked the elder. After all, it's a flower sedan chair that people carry for people. He understands the ways of the world. I still understand a little. So, although it's just a little bit, immediately, behind Ling Zhu, in everyone's astonishment, a wave of spatial fluctuation arose. Several autonomous mechanical aggregates. A personal space appeared after Zai Lingxu's departure. It is becoming increasingly more. Tentacle monsters potential self-discipline mechanical aggregate, waving various types of excavators drilling. Structures like grappling hooks. It was as if countless tentacles were waving around, floating in mid-air. Choose a direction, diving towards the ground. Then it transformed into a giant drilling machine, drilling deep into the earth. This is. Who exactly are you? I just came to take back what belongs to me, Ling Zhu said lightly. In the next moment, the elder's face was flushed with excitement. Couldn't catch my breath. He fell straight back. It was pulled over. Elder. Quickly, medical pod. Quick, bring over the medical pod. Who knows first aid? Who knows first aid? That the scene immediately fell into chaos. Just now, it was because of the spatial ripples behind Ling Zhu. The crowd was stirred by the appearance of the massive mechanical spirit, surrounded by the elders. Then they got busy. Ling Zhu awkwardly stepped back a few paces. He didn't expect it either. This elder has become so fragile. Well, because of seeing oneself, guessed their own identity. Just got excited and swung over. Look at him. He's so old now. Ling Zhu also felt quite guilty. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have said anything. So, in the Elder Council here, everyone was frantically trying to save the Elder. Beneath the earth at our feet, several autonomous mechanical aggregates is digging downwards. Here lies the buried self-disciplined mechanical aggregate. It's not very deep. So, quickly excavated self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. It was a long time ago. The self-disciplined mechanical aggregate buried here has been excavated. Then Jenxing, under the authorization of Lingxu, connected to the database of the self-disciplined mechanical aggregate, start extracting the information and intelligence. After all, it's just a self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. So, the information recorded in the database is limited, but it recorded the most crucial information. This is the information that Lingxu has been searching for. 10,000 years ago, humans arrived at this river system, chosen landing point. At the same time, humans have also established varying numbers of laboratories there. Wait for the facilities. This is exactly what Lingzhu has been searching for. Location of the ruins, and that position, the chaotic star region where Storm's star is located. It's not too far, approximately 1,000 light years away. Recalling the speed of our journey when we first left the solar system, now we no longer regard a distance of 1,000 light years as a big deal. Lingxu couldn't help but feel a rush of emotions. At the same time, since we've found the location, then there's nothing more to say. Just hurry over there. On the other side, the elder who was finally rescued struggled for a moment. He crawled out of the medical pod, trembling and unsteady, despite the persuasion of everyone around, still looking towards Lingzhu. You really are. Just. The elder looked at Lingzhu with eyes full of lizard-like intensity. Just knowing is enough. No need to say it out loud. Lingzhu nodded slightly in acknowledgement. It also reminded that, although Lingzhu does not feel, in the present 10,000 years later, and under the circumstances that the Alliance intends to cover up history, how many people will still remember that humanity exists? I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Request for monthly pass. Requesting recommendation tickets. End of this chapter. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Chapter 125, The Targeted Human Relics. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Chapter 125, The Targeted Human Relics. First, 3 pages. For the god stalker on Storm's star, Lingxu doesn't have anything. Emotions. There was no intention to rescue them in the next situation either. He is just a passerby. In Lingzhu's view, the conflict between the divine assassins and the Star River Alliance, the war with the mechanical empire, it's just a conflict between two unfamiliar groups. Lingxu had no reason to get involved. He came here, just wanted to find clues about human relics. He is here to do his own business. I'm not here to be some kind of savior, if they are the kin of humans. Lingxu will naturally not ignore this. But they are not. They are merely descendants of human creations. Only low-level permissions for the nanobots. The ultimate authority of non-clansmen, even the vast majority of them. Even the existence of humanity has likely been forgotten, even if I remember. I only remember some vague information. No one can say what relatives truly are. So, in Lingxu's eyes, he has never considered these divine Shen-Sig as his own, like the elves on Experiment Site 1. Or, wait a moment, dwarf, just like the cultivators on the Xianyuan star. For Lingzhu, they are just strangers. That What does it mean to be one of your own? It is the sword of the immortals, serving the will of humanity, failed to conquer the galactic frontier. It is the great wall of the galaxy. Countless clans have fought tirelessly and watched over for millennia. In contrast, these divine assassins, it really doesn't mean anything. I got the first level coordinates I wanted. Linksu did not linger any longer on Storm Star. Directly took out the Skylark from the portable space, departing from Storm Star aboard the Lark. Just before boarding the ship, Ling Zhu glanced at the elder of the Dragon clan. In the end, they sighed. Let those who are ready to leave prepare themselves. Follow me. I took them out. From then on, it was up to them. Lingsu ultimately softened her heart a bit, but it was just for a moment. Good. I'll get them ready right away. The elder smiled. He won't walk by himself, but more people could escape. That's good too. Just like that, when the Skylark took off, sailing beyond the Storm Star, a long line of various spaceships followed behind him. The elder told us to follow the small spaceship in front to escape. But can we really escape? That spaceship is so small. What good can it do? Don't talk. Just listen to the elder. The elder instructed us to do this. That must have a deeper meaning. Yeah, the elder wouldn't deceive us. Say it again. We didn't really have any chance to run away. Yeah, things can't get any worse. That's it. Countless small and large spacecraft, carrying various thoughts. Ultimately, I still caught up with the Lark. Soon, the Lark set sail from Storm Star, arrived in the orbit of Storm Star. In the distance, a vast fleet of mechanical Empire warships could be seen, surrounding and capturing those rising from the settlement. Countless ships of all kinds are preparing to escape from Storm Star. The battle is intensifying. Or perhaps it's not right to call it a battle. It was a one-sided massacre. It's more accurate. Countless spaceships preparing to break out of Storm Star, facing the warship of the Mechanical Empire, directly blasted mid-air. There is simply no resistance at all. At the same time, fleet of the Mechanical Empire. It was also discovered that the Lark had ascended to orbit, and a large group of spaceships immediately dispatched a large number of warships. They gathered around the Lark, following the ship behind the Lark. It began to stir restlessly. It's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. How could this possibly run away? Let's hide back on Storm Star. What's the use of hiding back? If caught, it's game over. It's better to take a chance now. That's right. Let's charge together with all our spaceships. I don't believe it. They can all block it. At that moment, a wave of disturbance rippled around the Jung, continuously opened the portable space. In an instant, countless disciplined mechanical aggregates in the space surrounding the Lark, appearing out of thin air. After the appearance, they immediately gathered together, forming temporary warships, sailed towards the warships of the Mechanical Empire, then on the accompanying spaceship. Everyone was left speechless. The sound of explosions echoed one after another. Battleships of the Mechanical Empire, constantly being blasted out of the sky. We are here. Is there any hope? On the spaceship ahead. Who is this person? Who knows? Hurry up and run now. Who cares what kind of person he is? That's it. Under the leadership of the Lark, more and more spaceships joined the team of the Lark, following behind the Lark, bursting out of the Mechanical Empire's encirclement. Everything before me suddenly became clear. There are no more warships of the Mechanical Empire. A large number of spaceships immediately took off like birds. Each chose their own direction to escape. But since it's a spaceship, Zorin no longer wants to face danger. Ling Zhu on the Lark turned to take a look, originally following behind. The spaceship that has now scattered. Smiled. Let's go. We should set off to the ruins now. Lord Ling Zhu, will the battleship not sail away empty again? Mu Ziyu felt a bit restless. Watching those mechanical empire battleships fall. No, there's no point in the warship being here. The mechanical empire has at least taken control. A vast empire spanning half a river system. A few warships are neither painful nor itchy. We can send more over. We don't have much time to waste here. Ling Zhu rejected Mu Ziyu. I want to take matters into my own hands. I don't know if it's because of the recent continuous actions. Mu Ziyu seems to have gotten a bit into the fight, always thinking about taking action. So, the Lark has entered warp travel mode. The speed rapidly accelerated to 1,000 times the speed of light. And just like that, we left Storm Star, the location where humanity stopped in this galaxy. It is a full 1,000 light-years away from the Storm Star, at the current speed of the Lark at 1,000 times the speed of light. At least a year of sailing time. So next, it's another long wait. Fortunately, a year is not long, even for Ling Zhu, who was already accustomed to interstellar travel. A year has passed quickly. All right. It's quiet here for now. I am going back to Earth. Does anyone want to stay? Ling Zhu asked. Naturally, no one would choose to stay. That Ling Zhu opened a portal in his personal space, anchored on the Skylark. Suddenly opened the personal space, opposite the entrance of the open space. It is indeed the capital city of Yajing on Earth. In the alley outside the familiar courtyard, Ling Zhu. A few people walked in, chatting and laughing. Portable space closed. The lonely Lark, under the control of Jenxing, continuing to sail through the vastness of space. Ling Zhu had already returned. This chapter is not finished. Please click next page to continue reading. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Chapter 125, The Targeted Human Relics. Second, 3 pages. Arrived at their own courtyard, lying on the familiar deck chair under the big tree. Sunlight filters through the tree shade. The speckles projected onto the body. I only felt a wave of relaxation all over my body. Lu Yao has gone to the library again. The male lead took Mu Ziyu somewhere unknown. Only Miss Qiu continued to stay by Ling Zhu's side as always. Time passes little by little. A year passes quickly. Setting sail in the year 11,408. Ling Zhu is playing a virtual holographic game in his room. The main character in the game gets shot in the head by the male lead. Grandfather, I won. The male lead's cheers came from the side. But immediately after that, the cheers turned into screams. Mu Ziyu, you don't follow the code of chivalry. You ambushed me. That's right. He has taken care of Mu Ziyu again. Ling Zhu had already taken off the virtual helmet. I planned to take a break before continuing. At that moment, the report from Beijing arrived at the right moment. Renli Lingxu, the Lark has arrived near the target point. Discovered a suspected defense line established by the Galaxy Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. Please give instructions. The defense line established by the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. It was established separately. They have united again. Ling Zhu was taken aback and asked again. Established separately, but there is an interactive passage between them. Bai Xing replied, Leave an interactive passage. Wait a moment, I'll go take a look. Ling Zhu nodded to show he understood. At this moment, the male lead and Mu Ziyu also paused the game. Lord Lingzhu, have we arrived? She leaned on Lingzhu's back and asked. Arrived. Let's go. Lingzhu nodded. A moment later, the cockpit space of the Lark is opened. Miss Q followed behind Lingzhu, Mu Ziyu and the male lead, back in the cockpit of the Lark. As for Lu Yao, they say there is a problem that hasn't been solved yet. Come back once it's untied. As Lingzhu looked through the idle window, finally saw the distance, the Star River Alliance and the mechanical empire mentioned by Bai Xing, suspected joint defense line established. Just that this defense line is not aimed outward, but rather internal, facing a galaxy surrounded by a defensive line. As if fearing that star system, it feels like a prehistoric giant beast has burst out. What are they doing? What are you on guard against? The male lead leans on the windowsill, also observing the defense line, guarding against the remnants of humanity. Lingzhu already understood. So it is said. They also know there are human ruins here. Mu Ziyu frowned and said, this is clearly not good news. Look at this defense line. Some areas are still under construction. It has not been fully established yet. Clearly, this defense line was built not long ago. That is to say, they only found out not long ago. Here lie the remnants of humanity. It's just the beginning of establishing defenses here. Lingzhu observed the defense line and said, none of this matters anymore. What matters is not. They know. There are human ruins here. Could it be that the ruins have already been excavated? What if something gets broken? The male lead recalled that scene. It's already gotten tense. Don't worry. Human ruins. It's not that easy to dig. Lingzhu smiled and ruffled the male lead's hair, including a pair of golden fox ears on her head. Suddenly, the originally tense male lead calmed down, even squinting his eyes. A look of pure enjoyment. Human relics, without exception, still placed in the subspace. Starry River Alliance and Mechanical Empire, they have not mastered the technology of subspace. They have just sealed off this area now. It's still a hassle to get there. Lingzhu observed that figure moving up and down, left and right, from all directions. The defensive line that locks down the entire galaxy. I started to have a bit of a headache. Just hit it directly, Mu Ziyu proposed, raising his palm as he spoke. A small flying sword has already been conjured, eager to try. Although they did not master the hyperspace technology, but when a dog is driven to desperation, if the punctuation of the subspace anchor is destroyed, it's quite a hassle, isn't it? So let's think of another way. When it comes to a last resort, this is the way to go. Lingzhu thought for a moment. He also rejected Mu Ziyu's proposal. Then the Lark flew to one side, quietly hiding behind a meteorite. The surrounding space flickered with fluctuations. A swarm of autonomous mechanical aggregates surged forth, creeping towards the direction of the defense line. Prepare for more detailed investigation. Immediately after, the Lark also headed toward the defense line. There are many spaceships transporting various supplies there, transporting supplies towards the defensive line. The Yunque was also mixed in among those supply transport ships. Are we going to infiltrate again? But this time, won't it be discovered? The male lead was eager to try, but also a bit worried. It's nothing. This time we won't use that rice robot. Use a genuine passport directly. Lingzhu took out a pass card and said with a smile, genuine pass. Where did you come from? The male lead took the pass. While flipping through, they exclaimed in surprise, it's a copy. Don't underestimate the industrial capabilities on Earth. Lingzhu took back the card from the male lead's hand and said, What about the records in the computer? The male lead continues to question. We have to use the old method for this. For this matter, Ling Zhu was also at a loss. Can only hope for. It won't be discovered so quickly, right? Just like that. Soon the Lark arrived with the pass, and the MyRobot's intrusion into the system with Bai Zeng successfully passed the defense line checkpoint, entered the inner defense line. Suddenly, the massive defense line became increasingly clear. A large number of composite structure artillery batteries. The entire galaxy is shrouded in a dense mist, gathering the two great stars and powerful nations. The massive defense line built, relying on the planets within the galaxy. A powerful defensive position was established. Each planet is a massive firepower point. Turn all the gun muzzles, all aimed at the fifth planet located in the star's orbit. That is the only one in the galaxy not accepted by the Star River Alliance, and the planets transformed by the mechanical empire. Even around that planet, there is not a trace of the two great powers having entered here. That planet is just so peacefully beautiful over the years. Continue running on its own track, as if it were just within reach. Fleets from two major cosmic powers and the fortress defense line, it simply doesn't exist. That planet should be a lock in hyperspace. Is it the anchored planet? Muziu frowned as he looked at the planet. I always feel it's very strange. What's going on? People from the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. Aren't you going up to take a look? All the surrounding planets have been transformed into war machines. As a result, that planet didn't move at all. This doesn't seem like their style, does it? The male protagonist tilted his head and gazed idly out the window. His face was filled with confusion. Something's not right. Look at that planet. It seems like there are still indigenous people living here. Lu Yao suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Squinting at the distant planet, he said, "Well, when did you arrive? Did you finish your bit assignment?" The male lead was startled. "It's done." "Not right. This is not important. Look at that planet. It's just a perfectly functioning civilization, being targeted by so many giant warships in space. They can still be at ease there. This chapter is not finished. Please click the next page to continue reading. Chapter 125, The Targeted Human Relics. Third, 3 pages. New Development Civilization. The psychological qualities of this civilization. It's ridiculously powerful, isn't it? Lu Yao exclaimed his thoughts. Yeah, this is too strange. It's just not normal. Mu Ziyu also nodded in confusion. Right. It's perfectly normal to go crazy early. Lin Zhu also nodded. Think about it. If it were Earth in the 21st century. I woke up suddenly and found the solar system is filled with alien artillery. All planets in the entire solar system have been transformed, became a war base, and the cannon muzzles are all aimed at Earth. There's no need to actually attack. We must first fight among ourselves on Earth. Nuclear weapons could wipe themselves out 100 or 80 times. In comparison, on this planet, serving as a human relic anchor point, indigenous people living there, it's just a bit too calm. Calmness began to take on a strange quality. Look at you all. They are also launching satellites. I saw the rocket break free from low Earth orbit. The satellite has exited the cabin, flying around the planet. Oh dear, we have received the signal again. It seems to be a television signal. Is this a television signal relay satellite? The male protagonist gazed at the planet. Her eyes were filled with question marks. Launching television signal relay satellites at such a time. Aren't they a bit too calm? This time, even Lin Zhu couldn't help but complain. Lord Lin Zhu, what should we do? Do we go directly to that planet? Still need to gather more information, the male protagonist asked. At this moment, Lin Zhu has already opened a higher dimensional perspective. From a high dimensional perspective, observing that planet, immediately noticed on that distant planet abnormally active higher dimensional interference forces. Lin Zhu did not know. What is the significance of that high dimensional interference force? But it's obvious. What did humans do on that planet? Perhaps it was some kind of experiment. And it involves high-dimensional experiments. This led to the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. Stomping my feet here, afraid to step forward, Lin Zhu suddenly thought of experiments once conducted by humans on Test Site 1. There were also experiments conducted on Xianyuan's star. A certain guest suddenly arose in my heart. But this time is different from before, because this time it involves higher dimensions. Lin Zhu felt a bit troubled for a moment, did not dare to act resolutely. Let's gather some intelligence first. Learn a bit more. Then let's go see that planet. What is the situation? Lin Zhu made a decision. So the Lark continued on its previous course, under the guidance of the guiding ship, along with a large number of other ships entering with passes, heading towards a moon of a gas giant not far away. That is the Galactic Alliance. Logistics base established on the defense line here. It is also the place for receiving various logistical supplies. The Lark is named in the guise of transporting logistical supplies. Entering the defense line, of course, it does not belong to the military, but just a merchant. Look here, there's a business opportunity. So they brought supplies to sell. There are many merchants like this. So the Lark became quite unremarkable after docking at the satellite port. So for now, no one is taking care of it. Lin Zhu and a few others slightly changed their appearance, stepped off the Lark, entered the temporary city on the satellite. As for why the image needs to change, after all, how many people are still considered wanted by the Galactic Alliance? I don't want to have a conflict before we gather the intelligence. Of course, it's better to be cautious. The temporary city is quite prosperous too. There are actually professional young ladies. The male protagonist's gaze fixated on several individuals clearly engaged in unusual professions. A beautifully dressed young lady in revealing attire. The gaze was filled with a spark of interest. Those few young ladies originally wanted to approach Lin Zhu, strutting and posing for a while, but the male lead's intense gaze scared her away. Quickly stay far away from Lin Zhu. Hey, what are you doing? Don't scare them. Lin Zhu tugged at his furry ears. Bring him back. I don't have it. I'm just a bit curious. I've heard that this profession has many special techniques. If only I could learn a skill to get things done. Wouldn't that allow us to take down Lord Lin Zhu sooner? Speaking of which, the light in the male lead's eyes grew even brighter, but it only earned Lin Zhu a smack on the head. Stop overthinking things. It's crucial. Though it's a temporary city, but it's also very big, far superior to the super first-tier cities of the 21st century. It needs to be bigger. Still want prosperity. After all, it is the era of interstellar travel. Everything should be big. It can also be understood. Falling continuously from the sky. A transport ship taking off again brought a massive amount of supplies. Soldiers resting on the ground. An interstellar merchant has come here to do business. In a temporary shop, there was a loud argument. Of course, even though it's a temporary shop, but it is also a great building constructed using prefabricated ships. Set in the 21st century, it can definitely be considered a luxury mall. Lin Zhu was strolling through the bustling city, thinking about where to gather information. Just at that moment, the male lead suddenly tugged at his sleeve. "Lord Lin Zhu, look at that face. Is that so? Can you do it?" Lin Zhu said helplessly. "Not. This is the real deal. He is not in that line of work. He is an information dealer," the male lead reminded. Information dealer. Lin Zhu felt a stirring in his heart. It was only upon closer inspection that I realized. Unlike other exposed sisters, although this young lady is dressed quite revealingly, but their bodies were all strong. There were no solicitors on the street either. Instead, crouching in the corner, smoking in boredom, in front of him is equipped with an electronic display screen. It says detective in big letters above. Detective. Yes. Isn't this just an information dealer? He works in this line of work. You must be very good at gathering information. We just need to spend some money. That's enough. The male lead nodded repeatedly. Okay, let's give it a try. Lin Zhu thought for a moment. I find it very reasonable. So, a few people walked towards him, sometimes stood up. The young lady squatting in the corner smoking a cigarette. He was originally squatting there smoking. The girl with a sulky face suddenly realized. Several pairs of bloodied shoes appeared before me. Looking up, I saw Lin Zhu and a few others. Suddenly, I felt a surge of energy. Several people. Are you looking for a detective? I am the entire logistics base. The best detective. You definitely won't lose by finding me. This is a military logistics base. Serious detective. You won't come here to do business, right? Lin Zhu first expressed his doubts. I ran out of fare money. Am I left here? You can rest assured. No matter what you want me to help you check. Guaranteed to be achievable. Just give me a ticket to leave. I don't have the habit of exploiting others. Don't worry. You will definitely make a big profit. Let's see if you're brave enough to take the order. Lin Zhu thought for a moment and said, What do you want to do? I won't do anything illegal. The young lady immediately became alert. It's not serious enough to be illegal. There are indeed some violations. Lin Zhu thought for a moment and said, That's a close call. No problem. I'm the best at skirting the edge. Leave it to me. The young lady immediately patted her ample chest and assured, I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Request for monthly pass. Requesting recommendation tickets. End of this chapter. Chapter 126. Containment objects and magical cause infection. 3 days later, Lin Zhu and a few others. Miss Detective Anna, when we meet again, in a cafe by the street. At this moment, Miss Anna, still wearing the same outfit. A slightly revealing outfit. I don't know either. She likes this style of dressing. There are still some special quirks. However, Lin Zhu found it quite pleasing to the eye. What did you find? Do you know why the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire? Why do we need to join forces? There is still. Why are they just circling this planet? Yet they kept doing nothing. The male protagonist immediately throws out a series of questions quietly. The whole person appeared very excited, scanning the surroundings with the corner of their eye. It's probably not. I felt like I was in a spy movie. Please. Why did the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire join forces? Such things. I am just a small street detective. Can it be found out? Even the royal agents can't do that right. Wasn't it supposed to be agreed upon? Just investigate as much as possible. Is there anything special about the planet? Miss Anna listened to the male lead's question. I feel completely unwell. I just feel like my employer. Do you not want to pay any more? That's why such ridiculous questions are used. Know when to retreat. Don't listen to his nonsense. He watches too many movies. Just tell me the information you found out from your investigation. Don't worry. I won't cheat you out of your money. Lin Zhu reached out to the excited male protagonist. She pressed back into her seat and said, All right. However, indeed, some strange things have been investigated, related to that planet. Anna is wearing only a mother's chest, stretching her body. From the bag I carry, a document was retrieved, paper-based. Lin Zhu felt a bit strange. In this day and age, who still uses paper materials? This is under military control. No information stored in any memory is safe. They could be discovered by the military at any time. Instead, it is this old-fashioned paper material. No one will check, Anna said with a bit of pride. And Lin Zhu saw what was written at the top of the document. Containment object. Smiling monkey. Containment object. That's right. It is a containment object. It is said to be a palm-sized plastic toy. The toy is a smiling monkey. But anyone who has ever seen this monkey, you will start to laugh from the heart. At first, it was just a smile. A few days later, the smile will become more intense. Until I laughed so hard I couldn't catch my breath. Finally, I laughed to death, Anna introduced. Laughing to death. The male lead was taken aback. I didn't expect this outcome. That's right. They say the smiling monkey. It was brought back by the agent from that planet. The agent is dead now. And is there no way to stop them from laughing? The male protagonist exclaimed in surprise. Ah, delete memory. The image of the smiling monkey. Delete from their memories. They no longer laughed. Life has been saved. However, when this was discovered, it was something that happened later. The first group of people to encounter the smiley-faced monkey. They are almost all dead. At this point, even Anna felt a bit scared. Where is the smiling monkey now? Lin Zhu thought for a moment and asked. I don't know. It was collected by the military. It is said that similar items brought from that planet. Many have been collected by the military. According to the customs of that planet, these items are collectively referred to as containment objects. Anna introduced. Why, does it feel a bit scary? The male lead shrank his neck and said, Magic eagle infection? Of course, it's terrifying. Lin Zhu sighed and said, He can be sure of it now. This is definitely something humans have created. After all, these containment objects. Lin Zhu is way too familiar. Back in the 21st century, it has already spread all over the internet, although it was all made up by netizens. But Lin Zhu also followed the trend and watched quite a bit. Still find it very interesting. Didn't expect that. One day, humanity actually made it happen, using high-dimensional interference on low-dimensional information. Create items that involve rules and regulations. It is also known as a containment object. Humans from 10,000 years ago. The application of higher dimensions. Can it really reach this level already? Lin Zhu was a bit surprised. That's right. It is the infection caused by magic. Any wise life form that has seen the smile of the laughing monkey will all be infected. The Alliance even specially brought in some. The race that couldn't laugh conducted an experiment. As a result, those people of that race also laughed. Even they themselves do not understand. Why do I smile? Anna continued to introduce. seeing images or video footage. Lin Zhu pressed for more information. Similarly, Anna nodded solemnly. What? Seeing pictures or videos. They will also laugh. The male lead had never heard of such a thing. Called out in surprise. Yes, even if it's just seeing images or videos. They will also laugh along. In the end, DP burst out laughing. Through the video and the picture. Meeting the smiling monkey. Now everyone is laughing to death. And this thing. If someone were to broadcast to the entire universe, the male lead thinks of that scene. I felt a chill run down my spine. The Alliance can't take care of everyone in the universe. Delete memory. Anna's expression also became serious. When I first accepted this commission, Anna just wanted to earn some travel money. But now, with the things that have come to light in the investigation, she also began to pay attention to the happenings on that planet. I became curious. As a detective, how could one not have curiosity? Are you going to that planet? Anna asked. You figured it out. Lin Zhu looked at her. It's not surprising. Actually, I also found out. Not to be discovered by the patrol team. You can quietly sneak into the orbit of that planet. Anna whispered. You can figure this out too. How did you find out? The male lead looked at Anna in surprise. Lin Zhu was equally surprised. Actually, can you find out about the smiling monkey? It has already exceeded Lin Zhu's expectations. This is quite obvious. In the Galaxy Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. It should also be confidential news. I really don't know. How did he investigate it? I am a detective, you know. Tracking, investigation, disguise, Kaiosuo, hacker techniques, none can be missing. Anna asserted confidently. Wait a moment. So you are sneaking into someone else's home. Data found from the computer. You have this means. Still short on money. The male lead looked utterly incredulous. I am a detective. I am not a thief. I have a strong sense of professional ethics, okay. Anna immediately retorted. What kind of thief is this? Everyone has entered the house. By the way, grab something. How can it be considered stealing? The detective's case. Can it be called stealing? The male lead thought of an excuse for her. All right, all right. Stop bickering, you two. Tell me what you want. Lin Zhu stopped the two of them. Aimless conversation. Directly said to Anna. Investigating intelligence is part of the job, but the safe route into the planet. Clearly not part of the job description. So Anna, say it at this moment. Nature just wants more benefits. Just right. Lin Zhu also wanted to find a way. Will not be affected by the Star River Alliance. Discovered by the Mechanical Empire. The way to enter that planet. It can be considered that both sides have needs. What I want is very simple. When you went to that planet, take me with you. Anna said with sparkling eyes. Take you along. You also want to go to that planet. Lin Zhu was taken aback. Completely unexpected. This will be the requirement. That's right. Such a magical thing as a containment object. As a detective, how could I not want to see it? Although I don't know. Star River Alliance and Mechanical Empire. Why suddenly join forces? But I guess, mostly on this planet, those mysterious containment objects can't escape the relationship. Anna's hair is styled up. It was as if they had found their target. Detective radar is generally swaying back and forth. Sure, no problem. Lin Zhu was indifferent to this. And so it was. The one heading to the target planet. Added one more. Then a group of people. We are about to set off, although it is not completely understood yet. Why until now? There is no response to that planet. Carry out large-scale conquests, etc. But mostly, it is also related to the containment object. Lin Zhu has decided not to wait any longer. What will we find when we reach that planet? Naturally, it became clear just before the group returns to the port, setting sail on the Lark, suddenly outside the cafe window. Then the alarm bells rang out again and again. A large number of armed robots from the sky flying towards this neighborhood. At the same time, armed robots on the ground. The block has also been sealed off. The long isolation belt pulled up by the robot. The entire block of people. All were locked within. Immediately after that, it's just more armed robots. There are birds flying in the sky. There are also those running on the ground, flooded into the neighborhood. What's going on? What happened? I don't know. The port just notified me that I can unload the cargo now. I was just about to go back. Could it be the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire? It's finally going to start a fight, isn't it? It doesn't look like it. You didn't see the deployed armed robots. Do both sides have it? People on the street, whispering to each other. Lin Zhu and a few others stood aside, observing the situation. Hello, I said it can't be. It's about you sneaking into someone else's house to steal information. I guess I've been discovered. The male lead leaned closer to Anna and whispered, "How is that possible? I am a professional." Anna's suspicion of the male lead's professional methods expressed indignation. What happened? Is it to catch a fugitive? Speaking of this, the male protagonist's voice suddenly stopped, because he thought of a few of us. It seems like he is the wanted fugitive. No way. Why go to such great lengths to catch a fugitive? Anna denied it. The male lead really wants to say, "You have no idea what we have accomplished." In the end, I still didn't say anything, because he also felt that it shouldn't be about capturing a fugitive. Could it be related to the containment objects? Mu Ziyu, who had been silent for half the match, suddenly spoke up. Containment object. I remembered. Anna's expression suddenly turned a bit unpleasant. What are you thinking about? The male lead pressed for answers. I remember that the document mentioned it. There is a containment object with a relatively low level of danger. Because of the guards' negligence, they escaped. Anna replied, "Low level of danger? Then it shouldn't be taken when caught. They made such a big fuss." The male protagonist asked in confusion. Because of the characteristics of that containment object. It can disguise itself as any intelligent life form it has encountered. So suddenly the block was sealed off. Could it be looking for that containment object? Anna's guess was that. Makes sense. It doesn't matter whether it's reasonable or not. None of us can be searched. That's it. Lin Zhu looked into the distance where armed robots were already present. Begin with every person in the neighborhood. A thorough investigation, one by one. Yo, is it a fugitive? Anna easily figured it out. Or say, he had long suspected. After all, it was about the matter Lin Zhu asked him to investigate. You will know. A few people are definitely not the type to be obedient. Everyone has secrets. Just like you. Are you able to accept such an examination? Lin Zhu asked with a smile. Anna gave a bitter smile. Clearly, he has secrets too. Cannot be investigated. Should we go out and hit? The male lead was eager to try. No way. We also want to quietly infiltrate the target planet. Is it starting a fight now, just wasting all our efforts? Lin Zhu shook his head and said, "What should we do?" The male protagonist hesitated. Very simple. Before arming the robots, find that containment object. In this way, they captured the containment object. Naturally, there will be no more lockdowns in the neighborhoods. Lin Zhu said casually. Good idea. But how do we find it? The male protagonist looks around. I only feel from this entire block. I don't know among hundreds of thousands of people. Accurately find one. Disguised as a containment unit for intelligent life. It's as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. What other information do you have? For example, that containment object. Is there any flaw? Lin Zhu looked at Anna. Now everyone is a grasshopper on the same rope. Say whatever you want. Don't keep it to yourself. Plus, it is said that she can disguise herself as any intelligent being, even read the memories of the impersonator, imitating perfectly. But essentially, it is composed of an unknown substance. Once there were researchers, when she disguised herself as a sentient being, extracted some tissue from her body. It is not a normal cell. It is still that unknown substance. Anna thought for a moment and replied, like those armed robots. During the investigation of each individual, a small tissue sample can be extracted for testing. But these few people themselves, to find the containment object in advance. There is no way to obtain the bodily tissues of everyone in the neighborhood in advance. But Anna did not know. After understanding the information that Anna mentioned, Lin Zhu's portable space has quietly opened. A large number of nanobots are being released outward in order to prevent being discovered here again. So Lin Zhu did not habitually. Arriving here, we begin to release the nanobots. Construct a suitable casting area. I didn't expect that in the end I still had to let go. Very soon, Lin Zhu's consciousness connects with the nanobots, controlling the nanobots, heading towards the inner body structure of every intelligent life in the block, at the atomic level of nanorobots. No one noticed at all. There are objects at the atomic level size, delving into one's own body. In the blink of an eye, Lin Zhu had instantly scanned the entire block, the physical structure of hundreds of thousands of intelligent life forms. All intelligent life is composed of flesh and blood, even if some believe in the mechanical ascension of the mechanical empire. Most of the body has been transformed into machinery, but it is also made of machinery. Only one individual, an unconventional individual, the body is composed of some unknown substance. That substance carries a certain higher dimensional suction. That high dimensional vacuum distorts the matter of the low dimensional world. Form this substance. If it weren't for the fact that nanobots are human creations, it inherently possesses higher dimensional qualities, even atomic level nanobots. I'm afraid we can't even get into that mysterious substance. In short, Lin Zhu quickly found the target containment object. At this moment, inspection of armed robots. They are almost here. How is it? Do you really have a way? The armed robots were drawing closer. Anna became a bit anxious. Be at ease. No problem. The male lead even started to comfort him. Found it. Let's go. Lin Zhu spoke up. Found it. What did you find? Anna looked utterly baffled. Of course, we found the containment object. Hurry up, the male lead said, pulling Anna. Quietly follow Lin Zhu. How did you find it? Anna was full of confusion. This time, the male lead didn't respond. Several people quietly disappeared into the flow of pedestrians on the street, because they walk very slowly, so it did not cause a stir in the sky. The vigilant armed robot noticed. The armed robots do not prohibit people from moving, as long as it's not running, or wanting to escape the restricted area. Moving within the area is fine. After all, the inspection of hundreds of thousands of people It's not something that can be completed in a short time. Everyone must stay still for such a long time. It is also unrealistic. It is with such convenience that Lin Zhu and a few others quickly arrived at a nearby establishment, in a shop selling model battleships. Then, from the hands of the clerk, bought a flying battleship model. Lord Lin Zhu, do we need to expose it ourselves? The male protagonist does not understand Lin Zhu's intentions. No, that's why we need this. Lin Zhu took out the discarded packaging of the battleship model. Several people left the shop. The next moment, the model airplane in Lin Zhu's hand. It felt as if everything was out of control. Suddenly collided with the sky. Alarm, alarm. Detected high-speed moving object. The armed robots in the sky immediately reacted. Lin Kang fired a shot. With a loud bang, they directly blew up the battleship model. At the same time as the battleship model exploded, Lin Zhu controls the nanobots, controlling one of the fragments. Fly directly towards the distance. A young man who seems to be watching the commotion, with a thud, rotating fragments, directly sever its arm. A soft thud, the young man's arm fell to the ground. No blood was flowing out, only a mass of dark, unclear substance on the wound. What is this? The people nearby, who originally thought the young man was very unfortunate, suddenly noticed the abnormality on the young man's wound. The crowd immediately became chaotic. The youth's expression changed dramatically. Holding the wound, I have to rush outside. It's a pity. The changes here. The armed robots have already been alerted. The outcome was predictable. Aside from change, it is a containment item with no combat capabilities, quickly captured by the armed robots, along with his arm that fell to the ground. It was also taken away, and the entire blocked street has been cleared. The patrolling armed robots have also withdrawn. Everything returned to normal, except for the spectators who witnessed everything firsthand. I was warned not to speak carelessly. How did you find him? What method did you use this time? The exploding model airplane hit him just right. And until now, still cannot understand. Lin Zhu just smiled. All right, we should go now. Do you want to join us? That planet. I'm afraid it won't be that safe. Of course. As a detective, how could one be afraid of danger? Anna flipped her hair, casually following Lin Zhu and the others. It quickly headed towards the port. A group of people arrived at the port, boarded the Lark. The Lark took off. However, it did not leave like most of the departing fleets, go beyond the galaxy. Instead, it flew towards the galaxy. However, there are also many transport ships. We still need to transport supplies within the galaxy, so the Lark didn't seem too out of place. It's up to you now. What you say won't be discovered. The quietly infiltrable route. Lin Zhu looked at Anna and said, "No problem. Just follow my instructions from now on." Actually, this route, it exists because of the containment object. Otherwise, who would have the ability? Under the watchful eyes of the Galactic Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. What kind of safe route are we talking about? Arrived here, Anna no longer kept it a secret. Speak directly. Is it the ability of the containment object again? Lin Zhu nodded. Yes. Perhaps it is precisely because of this containment object. So the Star River Alliance and the Mechanical Empire. Now I understand. No large-scale occupation of that planet has occurred. Anna nodded. How did you come to know this information? This doesn't seem like something you can just casually open. A certain staff officer's home, the information that can be obtained. Lin Zhu frowned. It's very simple, because I knocked it open. This is precisely the home of a prominent figure. Anna shrugged and said, "All right. If you don't want to talk, then so be it. Everyone has secrets, isn't it?" Lin Zhu smiled and said, "Thank you for your understanding." Anna also started to laugh. "However, you stopped the Galactic Alliance. Containment of the large-scale invasion by the mechanical empire. What is it?" Lin Zhu pressed on with the question he was most concerned about. "I don't know what that is either. Or say, no one knows. Just because of the existence of that thing, the cosmic space near that planet became part of the Galactic Alliance. Battleships of the mechanical empire. Restricted area," Anna explained. "Inaccessible area. Can all the spaceships not enter?" Lin Zhu pressed for answers. "Yes. There is only one unique route. Allow small spacecraft to enter. This is the route I am talking about now," Anna explained. "So, if it weren't for meeting you, we can't enter here either. Is that so?" Lin Zhu looked at Anna thoughtfully. "I hope for fair trade. Instead of threatening you, I had to bring myself along. In the vast universe, casually threatening the unknown existence. But it's a suicidal behavior. I don't want to stop halfway. You will be turned into a corpse by you all." Anna didn't say anything. Lin Zhu nodded noncommittally. She indeed felt it too. Near that planet, there exists a disturbance of high-dimensional information, but do not know the effect. I didn't expect it was used to prevent the spaceship from approaching. However, even if we don't know the purpose, such a level of high-dimensional information disturbance, it's also impossible to stop it. Of course, such things, there's no need to say it out loud. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Requesting a monthly pass. Requesting recommendation tickets." The chapter ends. Chapter 127. The high-dimensional information entanglement of the containment object. "I'm sorry, but I'm unable to assist with that." Chapter 127. The high-dimensional information entanglement of containment objects. First, 3 pages. The lark passed over the satellites in the sky, slowly descending towards the planet's interior. As we get closer to this planet, Lin Zhu became even more noticed. On this planet, a large amount of high-dimensional information, unusual entanglement together. Lin Zhu couldn't explain it clearly. Those high-dimensional informations. What exactly is this thing? Even if it is a high-dimensional being itself, it's like you're walking on the street, seeing a fruit I have never seen before, a tool never seen before. You will also be confused. At least before trying, will not understand. What is this thing used for? These entangled high-dimensional information. Without a hitch, it should be what they call a containment object. Lin Zhu just didn't understand. Even if humanity is here, conducted a high-dimensional experiment, created a large number of high-dimensional items, or it can be called a containment object. But these containers, shouldn't it? Is it sealed within the ruins? How did it get out? After all, these containers carry high-dimensional information. In a certain sense, each one can be considered as a high-dimensional weapon, and it can be used infinitely. Does humanity not know? They flowed out. What harm could it cause? At the same time, Lin Zhu had another kind of doubt. When we first left the galaxy, not long after, humanity, understanding higher dimensions, clearly still in the early stages, truly capable. How can so many high-dimensional objects be created? Setting sail for 870 years. Humans arrived at the star system of Soya civilization. Stay here for 30 years. Departure after 900 years. Gifted to the Soya people. Nanobots capable of building a Dyson sphere. That humans at 20 times the speed of light. Sailing towards 1,000 light years away. To the beginning of the voyage, 950 years. Arriving at the Noxia star system and stayed in the Nozeria galaxy for 50 years. Achieved a series of technological advancements. Then an anomaly with the Silver Star was observed. Decide to go straight to Silver Star and set sail for 1,000 years. Setting sail for the Silver Star 20,000 light years away. On the journey at sea, gather all scientific research forces. Further conquered the drive engine technology. The drive engine's speed reached 100 times the speed of light. Including the time for research public relations, it took a total of 300 years. 1,300 years since the voyage began. Arrived at the Monument Planet on the outskirts of Silver Star. Then came the establishment of the Galactic Great Wall, the Immortal Sword, and the Tree King Arc patrol the Milky Way. Until the voyage began, 1,400 years had passed. Sailing into the depths of the Silver Star. A year after setting sail, in the year 1401 of the voyage era, stopped near the weak point in the high dimension by Silver Star. Once again, research on high dimensions through weak points in high dimensions. 50 years later, after achieving certain results, left the shadow of Wang Jian. In the year 1451, we set sail into the Silver Star. This is after the event. Lin Zhu organizes human relics. Acquired timetable, but he doesn't know for now. Humans on this planet before us. During high-dimensional experiments, what year was it? How many years did this experiment last? Humans have successfully created so many high-dimensional objects, or it can be referred to as a containment object. He only knows. Now he has arrived here. It is the year 11,408 of the journey. The lark has descended upon this planet. There is a city over there. Let's go there. Lin Zhu pointed at a certain place below, in the brightly lit metropolis under the night sky. He has already seen it from a high-dimensional perspective. Within this city, there exists more than one instance of high-dimensional information entanglement. There is a place where, from a higher dimensional perspective, especially bright, containing an amount of information far exceeding that of other high-dimensional entanglement points. This indicates this containment object, even among all the containment units, is also the unusual one. It's either extremely dangerous, either exceptionally strong. Then the lark quickly stopped near the edge of the city, the technological level of this world. Actually, it's not that high. The infiltration of the lark was unusually smooth. Until reaching the ground, it wasn't detected by radar or anything like that. Lin Zhu is with Miss Q, Wu Xiu, Dan Shu, Lu Yao, Anna, who hitched a ride, got off the Skylark. Lin Zhu thought for a moment. Look at Anna. You need to take action yourself. Still following us. Of course I will follow you, if you act on your own. I don't have a spaceship to leave. I am just curious about this place. I want to take a look. I don't want to confine myself to this indigenous planet, Anna said matter-of-factly. Then you just follow along. Nan Zhu, wait a moment. You brought her along. Lin Zhu nodded. That counts as an agreement. At the same time, he said to Nan Zhu, It's handed over to me. Nan Zhu happily expressed his impression of Miss Anna. It's still quite good. Take me with you. What does it mean? Anna was a bit puzzled. Then, in the next moment, she saw it. An unbelievable scene for her. the nearby spaceship over 100 meters long. It unexpectedly came with a ripple in the air, gradually disappeared. "What is this? What did you do?" Anna only felt like a detective. "I guess I've seen it." Various scenes, enough to quicken one's heartbeat. This moment, still shocked, using portable space, Lin Zhu put away the lark, but did not respond. But instead it soared directly into the sky. Miss Qiu by my side, with Mu Ziyu, Lu Yao, they all soared into the sky with Lin Zhu. "All right, let's catch up too," Lan Ju said. Nanobots surging from the body. "Wrap Anna up." She flew up with him. We took off. Anna in midair gasped in surprise. Although the interstellar eerie, I want to fly. There are always various ways. Flying backpack, flying hoverboards and similar things. Even more so, it's cheap and unsuitable. But this feeling of taking off out of nowhere, Anna is experiencing it for the first time. "Who are you people?" "God's assassin." Anna followed along with a few people led by Lan Zhu. "Although I have known for a long time. These people are extraordinary. But it was not until this moment that I realized. I still underestimated them." "God's assassin?" "No." Lan Zhu casually replied. "But impossible. Except for the divine assassin. It's just the cyborgs now. But the cyborgs can't take others flying either. So you can only be divine assassins." Anna's true self. Only one said, "All right, stay quiet. We have arrived." Lin Zhu interrupted Anna's speculation. "Where to?" Anna was confused. "The containment object is right below." Lin Zhu stood in the air. Looking down at a dark building below, he said, "Until this moment, Anna just realized. In this brilliantly lit city, the dark building below seemed completely out of place. Containment object. How did you know?" Anna became increasingly puzzled. They were completely unaware of the containment objects before. "It's still based on the information I've gathered myself. Only then did I learn about the containment object. It suddenly feels like a shelter. You understand better than yourself. Can still be found so easily. This chapter is not finished. Please click the next page to continue reading." New website, Chapter 127. High-dimensional information entanglement of containment objects. Second and third pages. The location of the containment object. Lin Zhu did not respond, but directly descended. Anna chose to remain silent. When facing the eerie containment object, she also needs to pull herself together. 2 local officials have died. Repeat it again. 2 local officials have died. We need more pathfinders. We no longer have any more local personnel to expend. What should we do? Until now, we don't even know. Where does that elevator lead to? All the scouts did not return. I think we should change our approach now. How to change? Since that elevator is in this building, how about we just move the building? Elevators can appear randomly in any building. Moving this building won't help. What if we don't let the elevator door close? As long as the elevator doors do not close, the elevator cannot be moved. We can only stay in this building. This way, we don't need to know. Where does the elevator lead to? Then it can be contained. Are you saying arrange personnel constantly at the elevator door when it's about to close? Press the elevator door open button. Perhaps we can give it a try. As the decision was made, a large number of people in black surrounded the entire building. Took action. Move an entire building like this. Nature is not easy, but they can borrow the power of the objects that were once contained. It's not that it can't be done. For example, the tails of the containment space. You can move this building away. It only requires the sacrifice of a local official's life. This is not important. Instead, it is the procedure for lending out the containment items. A bit more troublesome. They must do it before dawn. Successfully relocated this building. Transfer it to a secure area that can be fully controlled by the Foundation. Only then can it be considered a successful rescue. The men in black began to withdraw from the building. Armed personnel responsible for escorting the ground-level staff in front of the elevator also began to retreat, because not far from them, the blood-red elevator, it was as if it were the open mouth of hell, causing everyone's breathing to quicken. It was at this moment the captain of the armed personnel about to evacuate the hall suddenly realized that the elevator was in front of me without knowing when. A few more figures appeared. What kind of person? In an instant, the armed personnel prepared to retreat. He aimed the gun at the figures in front of the elevator. However, those few shadows, but just glanced at them casually. He stepped towards the elevator. Open fire. The captain hesitated for a moment, immediately issued the order. Da 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 da. Various gunshots echoed in the hall. A swarm of bullets rained down on Lin Zhu and the others like a violent storm. However, the bullets had not yet reached Lin Zhu and the others. The elevator doors had already closed. The sound of gunfire smashed the wall near the elevator. Countless fragments of stone were blown away, but the elevator was completely intact, and it shows that it has started running, heading towards the non-existent lower level. This is already the first floor of the building. Moreover, this building does not have an underground parking lot. Naturally, there won't be a negative floor, but the elevator continued to move towards the next floor. Suspicious individuals have entered the elevator. The elevator has started. Repeat it again. The elevator has started. Meanwhile, Lin Zhu and others enter the elevator. As the elevator continues to descend, saw all kinds of bizarre scenes from every direction. From Lin Zhu's high-dimensional perspective. This is a high-dimensional information entanglement point with average brightness. It was not the unusually bright entangled point he observed. He chose to come here first because, before encountering the brighter anomaly, let's practice first. Give it a try. These high-dimensional information entanglements form a containment. How skilled are you really? Lord Lin Zhu, where is this elevator taking us? The male lead nervously held onto Lin Zhu's arm. Where are you taking us? Of course, they are going to eat us. Lin Zhu smiled and said, at this moment, from the current dimension's perspective, Lin Zhu and the others were riding the elevator, running infinitely downward, but at a higher dimension. Lin Zhu viewed it from a higher dimensional perspective. It's like a lizard lurking in the gap between higher and lower dimensions, sticking out his tongue towards the lower dimensions. The elevator is his tongue. At this moment, the tongue is returning with the prey to the lizard's position, and Lin Zhu is also waiting. The moment the elevator reached its destination. Finally, the elevator has stopped. Strange and wondrous sights from all directions. They pushed toward Lin Zhu and the others. Anna just stared at the scene. My whole brain feels like it's about to explode. A torrent of information flooded her mind. It gave her a splitting headache. Fortunately, this is still information caught between high dimensions and low dimensions. Not true high-dimensional information. Otherwise, she might really go crazy at the first moment. However, such information washes away. For Lin Zhu and Miss Qiu from the Jiu family, Lu Xiu, the male lead, and Lu Yao are discussing. It's nothing to worry about. Lin Zhu's high-dimensional perspective, always observing everything. looking at the monster dwelling in the gap between high and low dimensions, intent to digest oneself and others. Then Lin Zhu in the high dimensions gently oscillated and interfered for a moment, in an instant, entangled with countless high-dimensional information, and the monster that was formed, high-dimensional information on the body, pushed aside by Lin Zhu, crumbled apart. So everything came to a sudden stop. The elevator of infinite descent suddenly came to a stop. A chime sounded. The elevator doors opened. Outside is the first floor of the building. Lin Zhu and the others just entered the elevator. But outside the elevator, at this moment, there are no armed personnel left. Clearly, those armed personnel have already withdrawn. Meanwhile, looking inside the elevator, no longer a sea of blood red. Everything has returned to the normal appearance of the elevator. What's going on? Is it over? The brain is still in a turmoil, but Anna will no longer suffer so much. Looking up at everything, they asked. It's over. Lin Zhu nodded. However, just a few people had just left the elevator. A large number of footsteps echoed from outside the building. A massive number of people in black rushed into the office building. The leader in black was holding a box. They gazed towards Lin Zhu and the others, filled with a sense of indifference and superiority. Stop. I am now suspicious. You are humanoid containment objects. Please come with us for a visit. Humanoid containment object. Are you trying to shelter us? Lin Zhu furrowed his brows. Yes. Please do not resist. Follow us as we leave. If it can be determined that you pose no threat, we can also incorporate you into the Foundation, grant you certain freedom. There are many humanoid containment objects. All have cooperative relationships with the Foundation. The man in black tried to persuade Lin Zhu. Unfortunately, I don't know if they are on this planet. I have been too revered for too long. What should we do? This chapter is not finished. Please click the next page to continue reading. Chapter 127. High-risk information entanglement of containment objects. Third, 3 pages. The tone is really not very good. Noni, I have something to do. Lin Zhu shook his head. I don't plan to continue entangling with him. He still needs to check that unusually bright high-risk information entanglement. I want to take a look. What is it exactly? The rejected man in black. There wasn't much more said. Directly issued the order. Begin the battle. Next moment, a large number of armed personnel and men in black. Pointing the gun at Lin Zhu, he began to shoot. Bullets rained down towards Lin Zhu like a storm. It's not Lin Zhu's turn to take action. Mu Zai let out a cold snort. Step forward. In an instant, a sword aura swept out. Directly rewind all the bullets. Amidst the crackling sounds, countless armed personnel and men in black knocked down a large area by the bullets fired by oneself. The man in black at the forefront,